A very good evening. Is it good evening? Maybe early hours of the evening, depending on which time zone in which you are. The country where this match is live, Uganda, is only late afternoon now. This one is the last match in the first round, which is the winners bracket of the ongoing ATA Super 8-man strictly Ugandan competition. The defending champion, Caesar Chandiga, right on table, is down by 2 frames to 1 against Joseph Kasozi, racing to 8 for a place in the semi-finals of the winners category. The frame that Caesar lost first was courtesy of a walkover countdown against him, having been the player that came late. And after 5 minutes, he did lose the frame. I think the easier explanation is the fact that it has been raining in Kampala this afternoon. Perhaps it hampered his ability to move earlier. I'm not just making an excuse, I just think so. It is the second time in as many days that these two players are facing off. On Sunday, they were up in another double F competition. It was the second live final of a 16-man comp that was organized at Kamba Sports Arena. In a race to 7 on the day, Caesar won by 7 frames to 5. A good fight from Kasozi. He again led in that one, but the lead was surmounted by Caesar. Two guys that I love for the fact that are too friendly in nature, but they give themselves the best version of each other because of the amount of competition that they put up when they get to face off. The reason why this match is normally so awaited every time that it comes by is mostly because of those 2 tournaments of the Pool Association of Uganda, respective Grand Open Championship finals in 2022 as well as 2024 in Kampala at Kasba and Jinja City at Queen's Palace respectively, when Joseph Kasozi did defeat Caesar, both in finals, both by the Pool Association of Uganda, both Grand Open, both by decider, and both by 9 frames to 6. Also the fact that Joseph Kasozi is ranked first by the Pool Association of Uganda. Last year it was Caesar. I have to make a disclaimer that for the Pool Association of Uganda, ranking is only based on events organized by the same association, which can only be, with due respect, a handful in a year that has dozens of other competitions. So it's why I call ranking respectful, but nothing but a number. Now the number 1 is on the verge of winning a third. He is called the sharpshooter, normally because of his ability to shoot balls sharp from long range. Just like that, the cue ball is even better. The sharpshooter on the verge of winning a third. He has to be on target because cue ball will have to be played towards the right end of the table where there is the red. Yes, he is on target, and yes, he extends his lead as umpire Henry Joko comes into rack frame number 4. It is Joseph Kasozi 3 and Caesar Chandiga 1. Thank you for watching. Spice Teviansala supporting Kasozi Joseph. She would quarrel if I said that right in front of her. She's one of those ladies who make a lot of noise on social media every time Caesar wins a comp. And the fact that Caesar has been winning a lot of late, she's filling people's phones with her own messages, seemingly happier than the player himself. Makalazi Ronald, thank you for watching. Dr. Spencer, USA Kasozi making a comeback. Thomas Mbeva uploading the stinging of the scorpion. Now in ultimate rules, a foul on the break is not so much more than a loss of turn. With Caesar now closing the table, playing the yellows, of course, going for a single visit of the table. Look out for the position of the black, not portable with ease. It may have to be a special shot in which Caesar, if he is able, like he normally does, finish them yellows, can manipulate cue ball for black to be potted to the corner pocket now, bottom left. Now, before I could finish the statement, the Scorpion just played the cue ball into the red, rendering the black open. I'm not so certain he has full sight of the red, which is rightwards of the two. From his stroke, yes, he is. He has to balance power, not to get himself snookered. Seeming like a partial snooker, at least it is. From this camera angle, we can see he's snookered. He's going for a simple safety, simply not to foul. Oops, he did pot. I don't know whether that is understanding of pool or understanding the table, because if you look at that jaw, as Caesar now pots black, the ball was on the side of the table that is now rightwards, and yet he played off the cushion on the left, and yet got the ball sunk. I didn't see coming, but I think it's an understanding of the table. What he has had more experience on it, not this very table, but of course, having played in the Ultimate Pool Championships in the United Kingdom, they are the same exact tables, same brand, on which Caesar lost by decider against the Great Britain Chris Melling. For now, after frame one by break and finish, not break and finish, sorry, reverse dish after a foul on the break by Joseph Kasozi. It's now 3-2. Official score, actual score 2-2. As Caesar gets to break a fifth frame in terms of the ones that have been played on the table, getting to sink one red in. Big and there you say Kasozi was head started. Perhaps you are referring to, you are not yet off the very interesting comp that Caesar won last Sunday. He wasn't head started, he led, then Caesar came back. These two have played together in competition and together in union. They have had two events where they were teamed up in the doubles. They came third in the Holy Cup Championships, the pair of Kasozi and Caesar. That was in 2023. Of late, a match that I streamed at Timbakso in Eldoret, in Kenya, across Uganda's eastern border. They had a 4,000 US dollars money match, the pair of Caesar Kasozi defeating the pair of the South Africans Aiden and Jerry, if I'm not mistaken, by 21 frames to 16. A match that was played for 2 days because they couldn't play to completion on the first day. They'll have to play to completion here because one of them will have to get to 8 frames before the other does in under 1 hour from now. It could be Caesar, could be Kasozi. Kasozi has to be wary that the guy he's playing has a big head-to-head performance ratio on him. In the last event, Caesar did defeat Kasozi on the way to the victory in so many comps outside the polar station of the Uganda calendar, perhaps 7 if not 8 if my count is right. Caesar has been defeating Kasozi in a money match that was organized at Casbah last year. A race to 21 was won by 21 frames versus 10 for Caesar, who is on the verge of equalizing for the first time in the match. Now on the black, as he demonstrates how to win 2 frames in a row with one sole visit of the table. The Scorpion going for black to the corner pocket bottom left. Of course, even with a relatively hard bridge, he will not be missing from this range. There goes the Scorpion, equalizing against the sharpshooter. It is 3 frames apiece. Sebugwawo Sharif, thank you for watching. Prince Makandawire, you're asking about the difference between official score and actual score. By official score, I'm meaning what we have now on the scoreboard, which is 3-all. Actual score, I'm just insinuating the scores in terms of the frames won on the table. Kasozi has started with +1 because Caesar came late and was punished by the organizers. Once the time for the match starts, after every 5 minutes, a frame is lost by the absent player, one by the present player. But disregard what I'm calling actual score. Just consider the official score. It is 3-3. I was just trying to explain how the frames came about. Thank you for watching as well. Abias Mahomaza, as Joseph Kasozi now breaks the 7th frame of the match. Looks like a dry one. Oh no. When the Caesar is starting to unleash his beast mode, you just don't break dry. Sometimes he makes you think that it is a criminal offense. I want to think that he will be going for the reds. Perhaps yes, the reds. Maybe not. After all, there are 2 dead reds on the table. He's rightly going now for the yellows and getting to close the table, playing the cue ball off the cushion with spin on it, moving it towards the top end of the table, but perhaps hasn't moved it topwards enough. I'm not so certain he has full sight of the yellow that is rightwards of them all. That's why he was looking at it while perhaps closing half of one eye. He does continue in play. For the guy that has won 14 tournaments this year and still counting, Joseph Kasozi, still on the one. That official comp of the Polo Station of Uganda, the Grand Open in the city of Fort Portal, very early on in there, while concluding the month of March, with Caesar playing and winning in about 5 countries on 3 continents. In Uganda, of course, in Kenya, in Tanzania, in South Africa, in Mauritius, in China, in England, perhaps 6 countries, winning the Champion of Champions Heibo Championship, in the Commonwealth Billiards Championships, the same event where Kasozi came second in black ball to the great South African Senzo Gumede. Caesar did defeat the Indian Shivam Arora in the Heibo finals, but most importantly, from a position of pride for any Ugandan, is the fact that he was able to defeat the Great Britain Chris Milling on penalties in the Heibo semi-finals. For once, we are seeing him playing under pressure of the ticking clock and getting to miss what would be a crucial yellow, and missing what was looking like a frame that he could win by break and finish. Joseph Kasozi will be playing perhaps, I'm saying perhaps, 1 snooker, hoping that Caesar misses any of his yellows, which if he does, Kasozi will be at liberty to have the cue ball in hand, place it anywhere on the green bed for him to try and make a clearance that will gain him the lead yet again in the match. Here comes the Scorpion off the cushion with right spin, finds the right, and the Kasozi's attempt to get the cue ball in hand can wait a little longer. If I'm not mistaken, I think the last 4 events that have been organized at Addis, where we are, with Caesar in involvement, have all been won by himself, the same player. The ATA Africa Super 8-man comp first edition, where he defeated Hazard in the final right here. Then the 2 Super 8-man Ugandan comps that he won in succession. There is a 4th event that was the beginning of the year, 64-man comp right here in the first week of the year, where he defeated the Zambian Kelvin Fikoti in the final. If he did win this, it will be a 5th all in a row. That speaks to the level of dominance that the Ugandan has had, that Caesar has had on Ugandan pool. Now, putting yellow off the cushion, will perhaps be spinning the cue ball backwards with big effect and power, playing it into the black with pinpoint accuracy. The pot of the black to the bottom center pocket from this camera angle will be a formality. For the first time in the match, the lead now goes to the Scorpion, Caesar 4 and Kasozi 3. Special shout out to you, Andine Andrew, Chatete Andrew, a very loyal viewer of these streams from Uganda MX. You are pulling Kasozi's leg, saying he's about to ask for forgiveness. Go away. Mobidin, Sharif Din, you're asking about race. It is race to 8 in not more than 1 hour and 20 minutes of that time. It is 48 minutes left on the clock. It is enough for Caesar to win 4, enough for Kasozi to win 5 out of the remaining 7 frames, excluding this one, by the way. Walukeji Paul, you are asking if players ever train for their breaks. Yes, they do. And they have the national coach is called Nathan. Normally gives them tips on how to break. I was having a little discussion with him, and then he told me he saw a message where Caesar was sending him money after winning a comp. Then he asked Caesar, why are you giving me this money? I have a job where I can earn. Why are you giving me your money? Then he said, you gave me tips on how to break better, and I want some money courtesy of a better break. That's why I was tipping you. But now, Caesar's cue tip is starting to punish his opponent. He will want to put yellow to the corner pocket top left. Cue ball has to be played kind of rightwards, avoiding contact with the red. Plays it into the red, it affects its movement, but I think he will be okay because it's still cuttable to the corresponding corner pocket. Now, bottom left. Of course, the frame is being won yet again by the Scorpion. White is safe. Caesar 5 and Kasozi 3. Kasozi must start winning now from his perspective, you just hope he gets to make a ball on the break. His breaks got lost a little bit last of frames this time round. He gets to put 2 balls on the break. Actually 1 yellow, which was sunk into the center pocket at the top with a lot of power. It is a realistic opportunity for the sharpshooter to shoot a frame sharp, pull 1 frame back, and start what will look like a comeback against the Scorpion. But if he's to do that, he must start winning. He has gone for the reds. A decision I want to think is a little bit suspect. When you think of the corner pocket situation at the top left, there is a yellow blocking the passage of the red. It could come to hinder Kasozi's attacking pattern. He may play the cue ball now into that red, which he does. And yes, the execution and the brain work is okay. What is not very okay is the resting position of the cue ball. He's trying to look in between the cue ball and the yellows to see if there is passage of the white to any of the reds. Perhaps trying to put the one that is bottomwards of them all, realizing that it's not potable. Considering his options, he's actually cutting it. It was in the end cuttable. Cue ball played well, and no better way to recover. Still on the verge of winning frame number 9 and winning it by a pull. Demonstrating the reason as to why he's ranked first by the Pool Association of Uganda. He too has moved around the place quite a lot of late. This year, he has reached, I think, at least 5 countries and 2 continents. Playing in the World Heibo Championships in China, the Q Masters event in Tanzania, playing competition in Kenya at Timaksoni Eldoret, now on the verge of putting black, though the cue ball will not be hugely favorable for him. He needs not only his sharp shooting target, but also understanding of the ultimate black ball table. Rail drive to the corner pocket bottom left seems to be off target. Yes, it was. More often than not, Caesar leaves off some of the misses of his opponents, irrespective of how thin the margins are. He normally responds in one way, and the most lethal possible way. He may have to put yellow diagonally, perhaps try to play the cue ball into the 2 yellows so close to each other. It's an option. Maybe in his case needless. Playing backspin instead. Now this has to be topspin. The cue ball has to follow perhaps the yellow all the way such that he can put with ease. There would be dead yellow by rail drive to the corner pocket top left, such that the rest will always be a formality. His fans are already celebrating to them what looks like another frame 1. Of course, they are right. It is another frame 1 by the Scorpion. It is now Kasozi 3 and Caesar 6, with Caesar needing to win 2, while Kasozi needs to win 5 out of the remaining 6. He gets a very deserved timeout. After 3 minutes, a live commentary will resume with the resumption of the match.
dignity tebiwa
Nezi najjamu kasawu kennina.
Ziraba kati kino kibeera kirungi waliwo nagenda nembuuzaako naye njagala kukola ka playstation kati naliwo bitivi nga binene n'okusingawo naye nga bya sente nto naye nga tibuli bitivi nga byebyo kati nayinza okuba nga kyekyo yo simanyi nayinza okuba nga byebimu because lwaki ogula eri expensive nga tugenda kukozesa kulaba nga tali benefit nga yo just kimone tekiryawo ovaawo just kocha alina byayogedde ebitali birungi agenda kwekyanga biki alabika ayembe ne tv mu inbox
bagala sala bazanyimbo ate kulu naye mwana bana abantu byali
nze nange gundi
wakanyiza
olwokuba nange mpakanya ekyokusala abazadde tuli mambuzi development page lwaki wetukako nawe ogende nga toliwati netipulu kuba balongo buli bakuwa buvunanyizibwa nsobola okulaba bwensala kali bafulumye ngaali yekka asobola ofuna
Welcome back, dear viewers. You get a feeling that Kasozi asking for timeout is a decision that is vindicated by him winning the first frame on timing, and with one visit of the table, maybe he could give us a very interesting end to this match, in which he still needs to win the whole of 4, while Caesar needs just 2 out of 5. 6-4, Caesar in the lead, racing to 8. All players in the men's event involved in winners and now the losers bracket are already at the venue. Right after this match, the losers category shall be kicking off straight away. A few of the ladies have now reported to the venue simply to enjoy the action. Amina Faith Nganda and Rita Ho missed her match and lost by walkover because she reported not feeling well. It's clear that she has come and not feeling well, but at least well enough, at least to show up, although just casually. Kasozi is showing up, not knowing what tomorrow may bring, hoping and waiting that something goes wrong with Caesar's pattern for Kasozi to stand a realistic chance of winning this frame and perhaps the match.
Meanwhile, last game in round 1, Caesar 6, Kasozi 4. 37 minutes remain.
It is not more than 37 minutes for which this match is left. Watch out for Ibrahim Kayanja, the real machine, and the computer as the next match on the live stream. Simon is the guy that has been given the biggest humiliation in the competition in terms of scores. Someone has just been making fun that Ian faced with a player that looked like Lobola Simon. But he plays like one keys. Caesar contemplating a way to finish the 3 reds, not sure of which of the balls to start with as the clock ticks against him. He is naturally, Caesar, an ultimate pool player, because he can mean to make a quick decision when there is a nick of time and then execute something good in that nick of time. Just like that, the frame is as good as gone. From Kasozi just reminded that when it is Caesar, your best may not be good enough. Another one is down. Caesar 7 and Kasozi 4, with the Scorpion needing to win 1 out of 4 to take his first life into the semi-finals. Sometimes he just makes himself a bully. Sometimes he makes himself unplayable. Sometimes people have called him a dictator of Ugandan pool.
So far, the ladies that are still on: Amina Faye, Zaimat Nawafu, Naigaukia, and Mutes Rashida.
There goes the break by the Scorpion. He has gotten to pot a ball and another of the same red color. Exactly the news that Joseph Kasozi did not want. As though intentionally displaying his name to us behind the shirt, as though trying to communicate to us who he probably knows will be winning this match, perhaps by winning the ongoing frame. he gets to close the table by putting the yellows a decision. Which for me is more suspect than not.
Fixtures coming up.
It was clear that the Reds were better positioned.
Those are between Caesar and Kasozi. Hazard to Roko.
The loser of this match in the losers category will be taking on Dog City. In the winners category, Hazard versus Ian. And that means the winner will be taking on Ibra. And if Caesar is the winner, like it seemingly may happen, I have no problem with watching Caesar versus Ibra anytime, any day, any month, even though it is in a double life competition of the ATA. Joseph Kasozi going for this one, having one pretty dead red on the table, the one that is closest to the black. He has to remind it that he has the clock ticking against him. In ultimate rules and international rules, players don't have too much opportunity to do too much game inspection. Realizing he couldn't do much if he had decided to pot the red, he has just not potted. So I'll be rolling a yellow against the rail, instead going for a defensive shot, but not defensive enough because Kasozi has full sight of the red that is closest to the center pocket on the right from this camera angle. He's going inside for another red, playing backspin simply to hide the cue ball, simply to play safe. How safe? Well, what Caesar needs now, I think, is to make a ball. And if he can guide the cue ball well, if he can make a ball, then he could be good enough for the victory. He has not made a ball. He has instead played yet another safety. And Kasozi now is snookered totally. If he doesn't find the red of the cushion, Caesar will be having the cue ball in hand. Finds the red. He could put it. Just lacked a little bit of power. And this camera angle shows us all the skill that is involved in the cue ball bouncing off the cushion on the left, having all that spin effect in it, playing into the dead yellow, opening it up once and for all. Caesar going for the clearance, which will take him into the winners semi-finals, where he's being awaited by Ibrahim Sejemba. Does it get any better than that? Of course it doesn't. 3 yellows to go. Two now. Could start with either of them, perhaps starting with the one close to the black. If he plays that with a little bit of top spin, cue ball will be natural for the last yellow, which you'll want to put to the center pocket now at the bottom of your screen. Just like that, the frame is gone. Perhaps Caesar is already into the promised land, as Kasozi is now starting to contemplate whom he will be taking on in the losers category. At the pot of the black is the formality that is officially taking Caesar into the winners bracket semi-finals. Just like that, the Scorpion sails through in a match that did start with Kasozi running faster out of the blocks, with the Scorpion recovering, Kasozi getting